Are you in a new season of your life? Are you stuck and searching for clarity so you can make a career change? Do you just need the courage to switch careers? Are you ready to follow God's plan for your career? Welcome to Choose Your Next Yes. Hi, Kindred. I'm Mel, a career transition coach, mom of grown-ups, coffee lover, and God girl. I've had a lot of big life changes, and I haven't always been clear about God's plan for me. This led to stress and anxiety and a lack of clarity and courage to make a career move. I finally started listening to God's voice to find clarity and peace and stopped being scared to make a move and achieve my career transition goals. Now, my mission is to help you learn to listen to God's voice and know when to say yes to the career you've always wanted and no to everything else. Let me show you how to clarify your purpose and find courage to pursue your personal and professional goals in your midlife and beyond. Throw down your self-doubt, dust off your dreams, Kindred. It's time to reset and refine and reclaim the woman you once aspired to be. Welcome back to Choose Your Next Yes. I'm your host, Dr. Mel Vandevort, and today I have a special guest with me. I have Esther Inman, and she's coming to us from Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome to the show, Esther.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I am super excited to hear your story and let you tell my audience how you transitioned into what you're doing now. I am just really intrigued on how you built the company that you have now and how you're working from home. You know, I love working from home. It is so freeing. There's just freedom and there's flexibility. And if there's a day that I don't want to work, I just don't work. And I will schedule that day in my calendar, or if I don't have too much scheduled that day, I can flip things around. And so it's really the best of both worlds. You get to work, but then you also have that flexibility and freedom. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Okay. So I went to school for education and teaching. I got to the privilege of teaching kind of around the world. I went and taught an international school in Europe for a while, which was really fun.
Oh my gosh. That's exciting.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I loved it. I taught, I was credentialed in California, so I taught for a little bit there. And after I taught in Slovakia and I moved back to California, they were not paid a living wage. So there was going to be no way I could stay living where I did and teach. So I started to pursue different kinds of opportunities, and I moved into training and education in the software world. And then after that, it was that hour-long commute both ways, sitting in a cubicle all day, having 2 weeks off per year. We had our first child, and they're sick like 3 months a year, and you don't get any time. It was just crazy. It was absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And so, the corporate America is not made for women, and it's not made for women who have children. I just am very adamant about that. It was made for men who have women at home handling all these different types of things. Right. And so if you're not that, then it's very, very difficult to maintain. So I got very burnt out. I was very depressed. I was crying all the time. And so I just quit, and I didn't have a backup plan. And we didn't have a bunch of savings. There was no inheritance, nothing like that. I just was so unhappy. And so I quit and I started virtual assisting. I got a job for an online course creator. She'd created courses. She had an agency creating courses for all different types of clients. And I just started work for her. She loved that I had a teaching background. I brought it into the work that I did. Mm-hmm. And the rest is history from there. That was how I got started.
Yes. And I love how you leverage the skills and your experience that you already had to do something different, but something that brought you joy and something that was maybe even, as an educator, I'm still an educator. I'm just not in public education anymore.
Exactly.
But using your passion for your new purpose or creating a new purpose for yourself. Using all of the things that from your past.
What I wanted to be able to do was have more time to be with my family, because I already saw that we weren't going to be able to have more kids if I kept going down that pathway that I was on. I also wanted to be able to travel. I have a huge passion for travel, and at 2 weeks per year, that's not going to work.
Right.
So I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to be able to earn more money. That was the other thing. I felt like I only get these little piddly raises every year. It doesn't matter how hard I work. I just am stuck with this amount forever. And it was really frustrating. So, and then I needed more flexibility, like I said before, because you need something where, oh, okay, like let me move my work to tonight when your dad's home, and because you had to stay home from sick day. No worries, I'll get my work done later. So those were kind of the goals that I was looking for, because your passions can change and your values change as you go through different changes in your life, and that's okay.
Yep, absolutely. Different seasons and different parts of your life. And, I'm a midlife woman who has children who are adults now, and I'm into the grandchild stage of my life. But I love, like you said, that freedom and that flexibility. And that was one of the major reasons that I wanted to pivot into working from home and having my own educational consultancy, my own group coaching, my own one-on-one coaching for career transition. And I love it. Like you said, that flexibility and that freedom.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that a lot of former educators too don't realize their value of their skills in different sectors. So my skills in the software world as a product manager and as a software trainer and educator, I was like the best one on the team. Like they were like, how do you know how to do all this stuff? I was like, what do you mean? It's just giving presentations and putting curriculum together. This is what we do. It's just a different niche. And so then the same thing when I moved into virtual assisting for online course creators, they were like, what? You can watch my online course and then make a curriculum for an in-person workshop and make like workbooks that we can like, yeah.
Exactly.
So
well, right. Because as an educator, that's what you've always done.
Yeah,
right.
It's the same thing. It's just different content.
Natural transition into a different sector, like you said, but still using what you've always done, all of your experiences, all of those skills are not going to waste because you're leveraging those for something different.
Yes. And the online education industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So there's a lot of opportunities in there.
Yes.
All those people need people on their teams to help support them. So there's a lot of work there. There's a lot of people who need help there. There are a lot of business owners who they're maybe an expert on their topic and they know a lot about their thing, but they don't know how to best communicate it. They don't know how to make materials for it. They don't know how to put curriculum together based on what they know that's step by step for a learner. They don't even, a lot of online courses don't even have learning goals. We're having to teach business owners, like, you have to have a learning goal for this lesson.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Stuff that teachers know that entrepreneurs and business owners don't know. They're just like, oh, I'm just going to make this course. Oh, why aren't people getting results? Why aren't they success? And then you can even just go in and consult and give them feedback and audits on some of their courses. So there's a lot. I guess I'm just saying that I went in as a virtual assistant. I started as kind of $20 per hour, just kind of getting my feet wet. I very quickly grew, even just working with clients. I ran a multi-six-figure agency supporting business owners who were running their own online courses. And that was just the very first part of my journey.
Right. And as someone who has transitioned, you look for a gap. And like you said, they don't know that you have to have those goals for an online course, but they're also, it's like in this information dump. It's like 2 or 3 hours of just dumping information at you. Yeah. There's no way you can process that. There's no way you can't use that once you walk out of that room because there's so much you don't even know where to start. And so as an educator, you and I both know it has to be bite-sized and you have to, it's repetitive, and then you have to use a little bit of it, and then you can come back and get more once you've mastered that. And so I love that you were able to turn that into something that you could use and work from home.
Yep.
So tell us about your company.
Yes. So after I had initially started as a virtual assistant, and I was booked out very, very quickly because at the time there's still lots of virtual assistant work, but at the time there wasn't a lot of good quality virtual assistants. And I quickly stopped calling myself a VA. I really was like an online course creator something, or like project manager. Like I think I gave myself a different title because product manager, because I really wasn't a VA anymore. I didn't do a lot of the virtual assistant type stuff.
So maybe more like an instructional designer.
Yes, more things like that.
Yes.
And so I still would do some things that online course creators needed. Like they do need maybe a little bit of customer service. Maybe they need a little bit of web support for their online course. So there was like some stuff that was a virtual assistant, but it was very niche to online course creators. And I was completely booked out though, very, very quickly within 3 months. And I had so many of my mom friends, and I was in the military spouse at the time, that were like, how are you working from home? How are you working around your kid's schedule? Like, how is this happening for you? And so I said, oh, I'm just doing this and this. You can do it. I'm like, we don't know how to do that. What are you talking about? I don't know how to write a blog post. So I said, oh, I can teach you how to do it. So I just started mentoring a couple of students, and then I would refer them business owners that I had to say no to because I was too booked out. I would let them do little projects for me here and there so they could get their feet wet and build a portfolio. And it was so life-changing to this little small group that I did it for, that they were like, you have to do this on a bigger scale. You not only like changed my life and being able to make more money, but just the mindset shift of realizing how much was available in the online world that they could do, that they had a skill set for, and that business owners needed, and they didn't even realize.
Right.
So that little tiny group ended up growing. First, we had a couple hundred students. We hit our first few hundred. Then we hit 1,000. And now we have 5,000 students, men and women and people all around the world. But it is primarily native English speakers, or, you know, really close to native. It's primarily Europeans and Americans. And we have a chunk of South Africans in there now. That are our virtual assistants, and we help match them with business owners as much as we can and help provide them jobs. And we try to teach the most in-demand skills that are being hired for right now. So we're always updating our curriculum and always trying to get them to be successful. And so it's grown to I grew my own online education company. I tell them I started my own school.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, you're not the only one. I actually, probably 2 years ago, I was listening to a podcast and I came across someone who actually was doing the same thing. Like they had started as a virtual assistant and they grew this company. And now like this person is, you know, she's all over social media promoting herself. And I've seen that, because I didn't even know there was such a thing at the time, I have really started paying attention, and it is really something that has, I mean, it's a big market, definitely, especially now. If you want to say post-COVID, I guess we're still semi-COVID around, you know, we have flare-ups here and there, but what looks like a typical job has changed. Even education has changed in using a hybrid model, really. Now you have to flip how you think. And so as an educator, you're not just creating curriculum and lessons for a typical classroom setting. You're creating this hybrid model as well.
Yeah, sure.
And you're doing the exact same thing, only for the business world. And so there's this huge market for that. And it's a great way to, you can start as a side hustle and see if you like it, and then completely turn it into a full-time hustle, just like you did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that there's kind of different ways you can do it. There's so many different ways you can do it, to be honest with you. But I like to tell people that if you're wanting to get into the online space and you want to work from home and you want to work flexibly, virtual assisting is we call it the gateway drug. It's the first step, because you're going to get to work with lots of different business owners, and you're going to get to see what kinds of things you like. You get to learn for free, which teachers love to learn. So you get to learn all this stuff of how to do things for free because you're working in people's businesses. You can oftentimes, a lot of the jobs I got were doing those course audits. So I would get to learn. I would take $1,000 course. Not only would I get the course for free, but I would give them feedback on it, and I'd get paid to take a course for free.
Yeah, exactly.
So even just things like that were great little extra money here and there, and we're always super duper helpful.
Right. So give my audience some tips on what they can do to, you know, I don't want to take away from your education end of things and your business, because I know you teach this, but what can you tell my audience to get them started? And then of course I'll follow up with your information at the end.
Yeah, sure. So I think the very first thing I would do is what I tell people, because I think we get stuck in not feeling like we can do that. I don't know how to be a virtual assistant. I don't know all these tech tools. I don't know this. And so what I always encourage people to do is to do a skills assessment of all the things that you do know how to do in your current role or in any of the other roles. And also consider soft skills. So if you have had jobs that you had to show a lot of trustworthiness, that you had to show a lot of self-direction, working well under high stress, dealing with, I don't know, precious isn't the word, but a highly sensitive situation. Those are skills that are very, very valuable to a business owner, because you're becoming, what I tell business owners that I'm consulting with is, you want to hire someone who's a second you. So they're trying to hire you to basically be a second version of them, which means that you're probably going to get access at maybe not the first day, but eventually to their social security number, their credit cards, their business credit card information, like sensitive things. You're going to be working with their customers on the front end of their business, and their business is like, it's like a precious baby. It's like they love their baby, and they're like it's like hiring the first babysitter, like, okay. And so the soft skills that you have, don't undervalue those. And look in I just did a resume review for a student yesterday, and she had worked in these like really VIP type of roles, but she just wrote, I don't know, I just organized bank transactions on her resume. And I'm like, no, they don't care about that. They care that you were dealing with highly sensitive information and large amounts of money. Like, that's the stuff that a business owner wants to see. So don't discredit those types of things that you know how to do. That would be the first step that I would say. And then another one is, you can go and check out virtual assisted job postings. I really like Hire My Mom. Flex Jobs has some, but I think you have to pay to be part of that. Boldly is a great one. Belay hires virtual assistants, Freedom Makers, and you don't have to go and apply for a job yet, but go and take a look and see if that's something that you would be interested in doing. And if some of the requirements, if you meet like 50 to 75% of them, or if you see, hey, I could learn how to do that by taking an online course over the next 2 weeks, that's good enough. Business owners do not care how many years of experience you have, for most part. Some of those jobs you'll see, they're like, need to have worked with a VIP level client for X amount of years. All right, well, maybe that's not the one for us, but there's a whole bunch more. They just want to know that you know how to do that stuff, and you can get started. So that's like the best tips I can give if you're just kind of wanting to dip your toe and see if this is for you or not. That can be a really great way to get started.
So what about somebody who makes a really good salary and they're just worried that they won't be able to replace their income?
I mean, there's a couple of things here. One is, I don't know what really good salary means, because that means just so many things to so many different types of people.
Exactly.
I don't know what that is. I can tell you that starting as a virtual assistant with not a teaching background, okay? So someone straight off the street, they're still starting at around 20 per hour. So that's already more than what a lot of teachers make. Just know that. So we're already doing better, and you're already getting to work from home, and you can work as much or as little as you want, and you get flexibility.
And that's more than minimum wage.
That's what I'm saying. So you're already doing better.
Yeah.
But if you have a teaching background and you're going to say, hey, I offer curriculum design, I can make workbooks, I can do online course management, I know how to use these online course tools. If you come with that, which you probably already have, then, I mean, you're doing 30 to 40 per hour. And that, again, would be the, starting. And that's what I meant about it being a gateway drug. Let's circle back to that, because this is just the first step. Once you become more of an expert, so now you're like, I am an online course expert. I can audit your courses. I can make a workbook to go along with your live event. Like, now we're charging a lot more money. Now we're charging 50 to 60. Now you're adding in a bunch of tech skills, so you can like run their whole thing. Now we're doing like $100 an hour. So that's what I meant about, this is just the beginning, and then the sky is the limit from there, and you can just keep growing from there. And you get to match it with what your passions are. So if you find that you love education and you want to stay in that, great. If you're like, I don't really want to do the online course and education stuff as much anymore, I'm really enjoying tech stuff and I want to go build websites and I want to, okay, you can go and do that. It's like the best. There's so many different types of things that need to get done in a business that you really can do mix and match and enjoy your life. And that's the other thing is how, someone's coming from a big salary. Well, how happy are you? Is it worth it to make a little less money, but be a lot happier, not have to commute, not have to be stressed out all the time, not have to spend money on these things that are a waste of money because you're having to do them to upkeep this job that you don't even like. So I always like to kind of push back a little bit on that, because like, well, who cares? Because you only get one life to live. So do you want to live it like going into this job that you hate every day? No. Is it worth it to make a little bit less money but have all these other benefits? Probably.
Right. And I agree totally. And I when I transitioned out of public education, I had to take a pay cut at the beginning to be able to focus on my business and grow it a little bit, but, well, a lot of it. So, but I just wanted to alleviate that
No, that's a great
anxiety
question. Yeah.
that they might have about, I can't do that because I can't replace my salary. And so I
Right.
wanted you to vocalize
Yes.
that it is completely possible
Oh, yeah.
you can start as a side hustle. You were talking about how you were working around your kid's schedule and that kind of stuff. You can do that, and you can start with a few hours a week, and then you can move into whatever it is you want to move into, just like you said.
Mm-hmm. And depending on the ages of your kids, like I know some people have older kids, but when I pulled my kiddo out of daycare or preschool or whatever, or if you pull them out of the after school programs and stuff, guess what? You end up making the same amount of money because now you're working out their schedule. And so you don't need as much childcare anymore, or you need either no childcare or very little childcare. And you end up taking home the same amount. Well, this is silly. Why would I keep doing it any other way?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This has been a great conversation. It's been very enlightening, and I think my audience will really enjoy it. How can they get in contact with you, Esther, if they want to learn more about being a VA, or they want to, I assume you're offering courses. I don't know if you do it on a cyclical basis or if you offer them all the time or if you have online. So tell us about that and how they can connect with you.
Sure. So I think 90-Day VA is my signature program, and that would probably be the most helpful if you're coming in with skills that you already have. And so you can check that out. You can watch my free class all about, it's called your work from home roadmap. And it's everything, like all the steps you need to take. I give you a couple of steps here, but all the steps you need to take to really kick off your new work from home career. And you can go to 90dayva.com for that. And then at the end, you'll hear about 90-Day VA to get a special discount at the end of that workshop. And that course is, open all the time, but if you do that workshop, then you get a little discount. And that is really how to build the virtual assistant business. It's all the things that you would need to be able to do that, including access to our private job board and being able to be eligible to get placed in the jobs that business owners hire us to find them VAs for. So that's a great program. And then if you join that program, and then you get 50% off any of our skills training. So we have tech training, we have repurposing content like blogs and stuff with AI that I just am putting out. We have a whole skill shop with things like video editing, copywriting, all different kinds of things. So if you find that, I want to add some more things to my skill set, then you can. But a lot of times people who are listening, you already have enough and you don't necessarily need that. And so 90-Day VA alone would be plenty.
Awesome. Wonderful. And if you need a little bit of help figuring out what your passion and purpose is or what your skills are, I can help you with that with a quick session. So if you want to figure out that and how you can leverage your skills, your soft skills, your hard skills, and turn your passion into purpose, then reach out to me. I will have Esther's contact information in the show notes and links to her program, so you won't have any problem connecting with her or finding that information. I'll also have my stuff in the show notes. So have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you back here same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.